VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby.
What's up guys, Nukin here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Xanadu's Blood, running it at 3 stars with Houndstooth and dominating the fleet arena in the comforts of your own home on your favorite throne. And speaking of thrones, I'm going to give a quick shout out to my patron John for buying me this ridiculous gigantic coffee potty toilet mug. I need to get another mug to compare it. Maybe we'll bring it back for another video, but basically he said that he would buy this for me if I put it on a video. So there you go, John. We have a toilet mug on a SwGoH video. All right, so we're gonna jump right into some gameplay. There is a ton of stuff to cover. Keep in mind that all the stuff that I'm covering will be pinned in the comments below, so you can check out all the timestamps and peruse at your leisure. Now, a quick roadmap for this video. I'm gonna be talking about basically reviewing HT Houndstooth kit and why it's so good with XP. We're also gonna talk about basically the comparison of a 3-star and a 7-star Xanadu Blood XB. We're going to talk about some lineups. We're also going to look at a ton of different battles. I have Auto Executrix 3-star XP footage, Auto Chimera 3-star XP footage. I also have a starting bounty hunter lineup auto, and this is all on auto by the way, footage. And then I have some 3-star Houndstooth and 3-star XP footage as well. So basically all the bases are being covered in this video, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now, starting off with Houndstooth, we're just going to briefly review the kit. So on top of reviewing the kit, I'm also going to basically tell you which abilities to use your ship Omegas on, because they are quite scarce. The basic for HT Houndstooth is going to deal physical damage. He's going to be able to cleanse himself of debuffs, and you can recover 10% health and 10% protection if the ship has taunt, which is basically almost all the time, especially if you are playing on manual or your opponents have no dispels. So I would definitely skip the basic ability Ship Omega. I would also probably skip the next ability here, Devourer of Prey. Putting Ship Omega, taking these abilities to max, they're not going to really increase the utility or the impact of these abilities. They're mainly increasing just the damage output. So what actually makes this ship good is not the damage output, so don't worry about that. So really the only ability that you need to Ship Omega is going to be the crew power, which we'll cover in just a second. But just to run off the basis, this is a 3-turn cooldown ability that applies breach, and this is going to be your only source of breach if you're not using XB, and you're going to be able to gain taunt for a few turns. Now this ability, the Trandoshan, oh Jesus, I probably butchered that, Barricade, let's just call it TB, the crew power for a boss ship. Okay, now this ability is very good. This is where he gains all the protection stacking and all that, which makes him super tanky, but you need to fully upgrade this ability with Ship Omegas to gain the very strong ability which allows Houndstooth, when it loses taunt, to regain taunt. And if you're using XB, you're more likely to have a breach out there when this occurs, so you can pretty much keep taunt up for the majority of the battle, if not the entire battle, if you're really being particular and picky with your choice of attack. So that's Houndstooth. Now those are my Ship Omega recommendations. We'll also go over, there's 2 Ship Omega recommendations for XB, but first off, let's take a look at another battle here. Now in this battle, I'm running 3 bounty hunters in the starting rotation. We have Slave 1, XB, and Houndstooth, and XB of course is a 3-star ship right here. So we're going full on auto, and all of our battles are going to be testing against the meta, which is currently at the very top of the meta in ship fleet arena. It's going to be a few Geonosians, Spy and Soldier, and Houndstooth in the starting rotation with Sunfac off the bench. So that has been the strongest lineup since Houndstooth was released. But now with XB and some extra synergy there, I believe the bounty hunters might just overtake the bugs, the Genosian ships, as the ultimate fleet currently in the game. Doesn't mean that the Genosians can't win on offense, especially when you're playing it on manual, but the fact that we can just straight up auto is a little bit of a testament to how strong the bounty hunters are now in ships. Now, I basically did a few battles with Slave 1 and I put him in the starting rotation, I put him in the reinforcements, and I was not really a fan. I think he was really not pulling his weight on the team. He wasn't terrible, but I was not as impressed. He's kind of at least outshined by XB and Houndstooth, that's for sure. And I pulled off wins and win after win after win. I did have a few losses, I believe, but most of these battles ended up in just about every battle ended up as a win. So that's some bounty hunter action. Now let's take a look at the stat comparisons of what a 3-star XB compares to a 7-star XB. So a lot of people were interested in that. So here is a 3-star XB with a Gear 12 Cad Bane with a bunch of 5-dot mods, no 6-dot mods here. I think that a lot of people don't have that many 6-dot mods to begin with, and Cad Bane is probably not their first priority option, so I went with that. Now we have the old Gear 12, and I believe I slapped on some of the new Gear 12 Plus, but don't quote me on that. And we have, here are the stats. We have 159 total speed, and then we have 64k health and 32k protection. So that's going to be the stats for the 3-star. Now let's compare that to the 7-star. So a 7-star XB, here are the stats right here. Same sort of character with the gear and the mods. It's going to jump up in the stats across the board, higher damage, higher health, etc. But the main thing here to look at is the speed. So 159 speed becomes 174 speed. This is going to play a role when you're doing the mirror matches. So whenever you're in a mirror match, whether it's in arena, the character squad arena, or fleet arena, whoever goes first has an advantage. And so if the bounty hunters become meta and a lot of people start running XB with their Houndstooth, whether it be 3-star or 7-star, the one that goes first might actually impact the battle. So that's going to be a key component to look at. Now, really, other than that, there's no huge differences, and I found that I've had a lot of success running a 3-star XB currently, at least against the current meta. So we're going to jump into another battle here. This is going to be another auto battle, and this ended up being the closest match I had in all of my testing, so I wanted to showcase it to you guys. We're gonna quickly cover XB ship Omegas. So XB has a crew power ability, a basic, and a special. We're gonna talk about which abilities to take to max with your precious ship Omega. So I have 2 recommendations here. Hull Breach, the basic. This is going to increase the damage of the ship, 30% extra increase in damage, but the huge thing here is the 30% extra percent in multi-attack chance. It's 65% in max, but if you don't max it, it's 35%, which is kind of low. So being able to increase that is going to make the ship very consistent, do more damage because you're doing double and a double tap that's going to do more damage. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think every attack has a opportunity to apply breach. So if you're attacking twice, you should more likely apply the breach debuff, but don't quote me on that one. I think it's still a good ability to Omega, even if that doesn't happen, because the multi-attack chance is going to dramatically increase the damage output. Now the other ability here, Cloak and Dagger, is the crew power. This is the other ability that I recommend taking up to max with your precious ship Omegas. Now, when you take this ability to max, you're going to allow the bounty hunter allies to deal bonus damage equal to 10% of the target's max health when damaging breached enemies. So that is going to be quite strong because breach decreases the defense by 25%, and then on top of that, the ships actually are going to hit hard, or at least XB and Slave 1 hit pretty hard. And combining that with 10% of the target's max health, that's going to increase the damage output, especially since ships have a higher health pool than average. So that's going to actually be another great ability to Omega. Now, going back to the battle, this is going down to the wire here, full on auto, but check this out. So right now we're down to just our TIE Advance and Houndstooth, and we're definitely behind here, still doing an auto battle. I believe we lose all of our ships on the field. We lost our TIE Advance, there he goes, about to lose our Houndstooth, but we're calling in Cassian, and with a clutch second annihilate sort of ultimate from Thrawn, we managed to squeeze out a victory, boom, and a special to finish it off. So very clutch and close victory. I think that that was still a solid victory nevertheless, because we showcased a full-on auto battle, and that was a very strong team. Now here is the lineup that I want to quickly talk about, and some substitutions as well. I think that Slave 1 ended up being the weakest link of the Bounty Hunter faction, which is kind of a shame. Definitely don't recommend running him as a reinforcement on holding on defense. He was better in the starting rotation, but there are just other ships that are probably better to do. You can do TIE Silencer, TIE Advance, you can do Sunfac. There are a bunch of different options that you can do in that slot. Now, Sunfac could also be a great reinforcement, especially when you're controlling it on manual. He comes in and has a irresistible stun, and then he can do another irresistible stun if you have the ship Omega on there. Some other good reinforcements though are going to be TIE Advance, Cassian, Plo Koon. You can run Poe, TIE Silencer, Young Lando's Millennium Falcon. There's a bunch of different ships that you can run. So I think that since there's some flexibility with this lineup as well, especially since you're still running a 3-star XB in the lineup, it's going to actually be very good. Now, a lot of people are complaining about a bunch of, the influx of marquee characters. Well, the ship events, or, how you unlock ships, are also marquee events. Although those packs seem to be a little bit more valuable than the marquee packs for the characters, it's still going to be basically very hard to keep up with all those events, especially if you're not putting any money in the game or little money. So it's nice that we can run XP at lower stars. So that's kind of the lineup. There are some substitutions, and I think that Chimera is the best fleet commander to run. You can also run Executrix, and speaking of Executrix, let's take a look at least one auto Executrix battle now. So here is that Executrix battle. Now we're running all 3 bounty hunters. I believe I put Slave 1 as a reinforcement here. This is full on auto against the same team that we've been facing this entire time, with some of the bounty hunters, a 3-star XB, I might add. I think that this is a decent commander to run, the Executrix, but oh, there's a Slave 1 right there. But I think that the Chimera is stronger because there is so much capability of running sort of a tankier lineup, and being able to capitalize on the healing is going to actually occur more often, because I found that the Houndstooth has higher tenacity. So even if the other team were to try to debuff it, it can dispel itself, and it can also, it has higher tenacity, so it's even harder to land those debuffs to begin with. So when Houndstooth gets kind of low, you can actually heal it up to full, and then the ultimate from Thrawn actually heals up the ship to full protection and health. So man, I can only imagine how frustrating it could be to get a Houndstooth so close to death, and then using Thrawn's ultimate on it, and it's now back in the game all over again. So I really like the Chimera a little bit more than the Executrix, but you can see that we ended up winning the battle here. Still on auto, full on auto, so it's not the best, but it still works. Now here is a auto Thrawn comparison, and so we have the same exact lineup. I think I still stuck in Slave 1 in the reinforcement slot, and you can kind of just begin to see how Thrawn is better. So we start off the match applying target locks across the board. We have the taunt up on our Houndstooth. Same thing for the other Houndstooth. I believe their Houndstooth resisted our breach, so a little bit more lucky on their side, and they're calling in all the Geonosians. We call in our TIE Advance. So the fact that TIE Advance actually got called in, I think means that we're not running Slave 1, but I think that this is actually going to be better because, like I said before in the video, Slave 1 ended up being a little bit on the lackluster side. So with this sort of lineup, you can see after just a minute of gameplay, all the Geonosians are getting kind of weak. We're consistently having target lock everywhere because of our TIE Advance, and the Houndstooth is just taking a beating. And the fact that you can actually have stealth on XB and also gain foresight with under the fleet commander of Thrawn, because it's a support ship, not an attacker ship, you can really protect a 3-star XB very well. Stealth and foresight, you're going to actually go most of the time the distance with that 3-star ship, which is awesome. Here comes a big ultimate. We killed their Houndstooth with our Thrawn ultimate, and basically after that happens, it's gonna be well over because they have no other super tanky ships that can really do anything. We took out their Sunfac, we took out their Houndstooth, and Biggs is not going to last too much longer there. We're running Young Lando's Falcon. You can also, like I said, run Poe, TIE Silencer as your finisher offer attacker, and man, we're just tanking. We just took that ultimate from Tarkin, and that's a wrap. So that's game. So we did some auto battles here with a 3-star XB. Now we're gonna end the video here with some 3-star HT Houndstooth and 3-star XB. So I wanted to showcase that not only can you run a 3-star XB if you have a 4 to 7-star Houndstooth, but you can also run both ships at low stars, which is nuts. Now, it's not going to be as consistent. There is going to be, whenever you're running a team that is undergeared or understarred, when you're going to lose the opportunity to have consistency because you're going to have a harder time having any sort of comeback potential if there is a string of bad luck. So definitely going to need to upgrade these ships in the long run, but if you're free to play, don't be so scared or afraid to start running the bounty hunter ships because they are going to be quite strong. As long as you have Bosk and Cad Bane started up and geared up, you will do quite well even with their 3-star ship versions, because Cad Bane is a character that I believe most players should have 7 stars by now. He is on the Galactic War nodes. Bosk has been farmable for quite a while. If you have been farming his nodes, you should be starting to wrap up the last star or 2 on him, and now with the recent changes to hard node farming, you can actually finish up Bosk even that much more quicker because the refreshes are going 25 to 50 to 100, where before there was no 25, you had to go straight to 50. So you should be able to actually finish up Bosk, you know, grinding very quickly, and then it's just a matter of gearing up the characters because you've done all the stars. So you can see here that on, at least on manual play, you can run a bounty hunter lineup, and so I would say that this definitely has TW, territory war potential, since you can do this on manual with undergeared ships, which is very good. I'm not so confident to say if I recommend it in Fleet Arena. You might actually hold a little bit better potentially not running these ships until they're an extra star or 2, but try it out, guys. Let me know in the comments below how it works for you. I think that it's a no-brainer if you have like a 5-star Houndstooth or higher to run a 3-star XB, but if you don't have a higher starred Houndstooth, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially if you're running Executrix, I might add. So I think what it comes down to, if you're going to have difficulty deciding which ship to whale out on, or at least try to grind a little bit more quicker when they become free to play, it's definitely Houndstooth. Houndstooth is the linchpin on the team. It's the tanky ship, and when your tank starts to go down, the rest of the team can start to die quickly after that. So that's about all I have for you guys for today. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought about the video. Was it good? Was it bad? What do you think about the bounty hunters in XP and HT? Do you think that they are going to become the new meta? What are you personally going to do with these bounty hunter ships in Fleet Arena? Are you going to try to counter them? Are you going to try to collect them and run them at lower stars? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. If you loved this video or liked it, whatever, make sure to smash the like button. And also, if you're new here or you've been here for a while and you're not subscribed yet, I'm approaching 10,000 subscribers, so help me get up to that mark. I'm really close. Share this video with your friends and your guildies and your shardmates. The more subscribers I get, the closer I get to 10K, and when I hit 10,000 subs, I believe there will be some planned festivities that everyone will enjoy. We'll see what happens. I have some giveaway ideas, etc., and maybe some live streams or a special collaboration. So go ahead and share this video out, and I'll see you guys all later.
The Force will be with you, always.